warm welcome to you all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
New year, new money. That's the topic for tonight. So we've got a few people coming through the doors. We're offering the opportunity to promote people to panelists so they can actually get involved, ask questions, have their video on should they want to. But we're starting to let people through. And if not, you're just hidden.
Just make sure you get yourself pen and paper, ready to take notes.
People are coming through thick and fast. Here we go. So Samira, Nat, Lighton, Eleanor, Tanya. Some people are hidden.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all here. We're excited to dive deep into the money mindset tonight. We're just waiting for a few more people to come in. People are coming through thick and fast. So just bear with us. Get yourself a cup of tea if you need to, a cold drink, a pen and paper.
You definitely need pen and paper. And get ready to be inspired, motivated, and let us help you break through new money barriers.
Just want to ask everyone just to put a thumbs up or a little message in the chat to make sure you all can hear us loud and clear.
So just go to the chat facility and give us a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Everyone, let's put everyone. Can you all type in the chat facility?
Great. Thank you, Kane.
Thank you, Kane. Let's get some thumbs up from lots of people. Brilliant. Thank you, Tanya, for giving us the thumbs up and making sure you can hear us loud and clear. So Kane and Naveen, we've got some technology experts on with us tonight who's going to manage the chat facility and also the panelists and attendees. So Kane and Naveen, brilliant. And that's just given us a thumbs up. Fantastic.
We're just going to wait a couple of minutes just to give everyone a time just to log in and get settled in. The team is here from I Am Great. They're going to be managing the chat to ensure no one's missing out, no one's waiting around in the waiting room.
And Kane, if you can change me back to Michelle, because it looks like it's Kane presenting in the middle.
So while we're all waiting, just start to think about your financial goals for this year. We're going to dive into the mindset behind why so many people, they set these financial goals for the year, and towards the end of the year they're realizing nothing's changing. Why is it not changing? Why they're not where they want to be? We're going to dive into that a little bit tonight, just to tap into the mindset behind money, and share a little bit about ourselves and how we've kind of changed the way we thought about money, and help us to achieve what we've achieved today.
So you should all be able to see our screen, and we're going to just dive right in from the beginning. So new year, new money, setting your financial blueprint for success. And I just want to check before we go into this, can you physically see us on video? Is someone writing in the chat? All clear. Hello, everyone. Can you see us on video? Because it looks like we've disappeared.
And can you also see the presentation?
So you can see us and see the presentation. Okay.
Brilliant.
We can see you and the presentation. Fabulous. Let's kick off then. So, new year, new money, setting your financial blueprint for success. Welcome to the I Am Great webinar. My name is Michelle.
And I'm Conroy.
So let's dive right in. So who wants to make more money?
Me.
Christmas is out of the way. People have just had their first probably paycheck since Christmas, since the overspend. And we all probably desperately want to make some more money. So a quick just show of hands, thumbs up, who wants to make more money?
Just before we move on, Michelle, that's a great question. And I feel this is a great time to start thinking about what would money do? How much money you need to change your life, and what does that look like for yourself? To start thinking about these questions that we're going to ask, and just to get your mind start thinking and align yourself with money.
And if we can have Kane, if you can monitor the chat and speak on behalf of the people, please. If they don't want to speak themselves, that would be great. Are you okay to do that, Kane? Are you with us?
Yeah, of course, I'll do that. No problem.
Okay, brilliant. So do you want to make more money?
All the time, every
All
day.
the time. So we want you, based on what Conway just said, to write down a financial goal that you would like to achieve and state the date you want to achieve it by. So, how much money do you want to earn? How much money do you want to have? How much money do you need on a monthly basis, yearly basis to that is your financial goal. So just write it down and put that into the chat or share via the voice facility. We want to hear these. So, Kane, if you could share what people are writing, a financial goal that you would like to achieve by, let's say, by the end of this year.
And would you say, Michelle, there is a cap on how much money that they could write, or is there a limit to what they can write?
Listen, I'm not here to tell them about their limits yet, because for me, it's limitless. And this is the whole point. Tonight's role of us is to help you identify what are your money success blockers, what's stopping you from achieving the desired money you want, what's stopping you from having the savings that you want, because it's all well and good writing a figure down, but I want to see where people are at right now.
Brilliant. So feel free to drop that in the chat as well so we can share that, and hopefully by the end of this session that number will multiply.
So what have we got? Have we got anyone sharing their financial goals? Kane, are you there?
No one's put anything in the chat yet.
No one's put
We're
anything.
going to always come back to it, guys.
But just feel the more you interact with this presentation tonight, the more you'll get out of it. So get yourself involved, write things down, and enjoy the ride. So, why are some people destined to be rich and others destined for a life of struggle? Because it's all about the money. Tonight is all about the money. So, why is it that some people call it luck, that the money just flows, the money just comes at the right time, and others who work hard, they grind, they spend so many hours, but they're destined for a life of struggle. Nothing changes.
So it's like quite similar to, you can have two people growing up in the same neighborhood, the same household. One is making lots of money and the other is not. And they're both doing the same thing, same business, for example, and one is thriving financially while the other is not. There's a reason for that, and we'll dive into that more into this presentation.
So, who are we? Who's Michelle and who's Conway, and what do they know about money? And by the way, don't believe a word what we say. We are not qualified financial advisors. We're not psychologists. We're just speaking from experience. There's us at the SME Business Awards in December, so a month ago. It's National Business Awards, where we won Business Person of the Year and through to the finals again. So we are very proud, and we took our team as well. So what do we know? What's our journey? What's the background about us? So Conway, over to you.
So I would say, fitness fanatic, entrepreneur, and we've started many multiple businesses, seven-figure businesses, but it hasn't always been a straightforward journey. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but the most important thing that we had to do was change our mindset and frequency towards money, because that was one of the biggest things that we had to shift. And we'll dive into that a little bit more as well.
My background is in teaching. I'm a mum, wife, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and I am here to serve people and make things better, make lives better for people. We're here to serve people and to help people become great, help people become the best they can be and live a life on purpose, discovering their goals, their dreams, and realizing that, bring that into reality. So our journey, we say life is a journey, not a destination. You don't suddenly just arrive. It is a journey. There's going to be knockbacks, setbacks, problems, and challenges, but it's how we choose to respond to those things. And believe you me, we weren't born, neither of us, with a silver spoon in our mouth. We've done the late nights, we've
We've
made
created our own silver spoon, haven't we?
We've created our own silver spoon now, but our journey's not just been smooth, it's been up and down and knockbacks, setbacks, but our greatest freedom is how we choose to respond to those things that come our way. So life is a journey, not a destination. You don't suddenly just get there and arrive and get off the bus and that's about it. So it's all about the money tonight, and you've got to realize that in order to get more money, you must first understand this. And this is your attitude and beliefs towards money.
And what does that mean, Michelle? So what do you mean by attitude and beliefs towards
So
money?
we're going to dive deeper into how people think, how people feel, what your beliefs are about money. And we'll do some things that I want people to interact and shout back some of their answers. Because it's stuff that we've had to work on in order to uncover and increase our financial containers. We've had to work on our financial blueprint, because nothing you learn, nothing that you see tonight will change unless you're prepared to make some changes. So first, we need to understand your attitude and beliefs towards money. Success beliefs lead to success. It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. It's quite similar to someone who feels as if they're not good at something, and that will stop them from taking that chance or putting themselves in the public eye, for example, because they're so fearful of it not working
Absolutely.
and not believing in themselves.
So fear beliefs lead to keeping on being fearful. Broke beliefs lead to being broke or not doing as well as you could do. I want to share the I am great thought power cycle, and it starts with the thought. Every thought, good or bad, triggers a feeling, good or bad. Those feelings generally show up in our behavior unless we put a lid on that our feelings at that time and suppress those feelings. But like a saucepan, putting a lid on a saucepan, it suddenly bubbles over. Those feelings are going to spill out into your behavior at some point. Behavior repeated over time becomes a habit. Your habits, what you do on a day-to-day basis without thinking, becomes the character. Your habits shape the person you become on a day-to-day basis.
So if you apply this to like the money mindset for tonight, Michelle, like there's people who set themselves in these financial brackets. There are 20,000 person, there are 30,000 person, there are 50,000, 100,000,
Yeah.
and they set themselves in that bracket.
Yeah.
So are you saying because they set themselves in that bracket, the thought process that they will never achieve anything out of that, and subconsciously they probably behave in a way that no matter how much opportunity come their way, they will not step outside of that way of, well, financial ceiling, I would say.
They've set themselves a financial ceiling because of the thought pattern, because of the thought process. And the person we're being on a day-to-day basis, our character, ultimately shape our destiny. So there is a direct link between, I actually should put an arrow between thought and destiny, because your outer world is a mirror of the inner world. And that is a hard pill to swallow for some people tonight. That's going to be hard. Because what I'm saying is, what you're experiencing in your life right now is a direct reflection of what's going on the inside, your vibration, your thought process, who you are being on a day-to-day basis. Because if your thoughts are, I'm always broke,
everything's expensive,
I'm always in my overdraft, everything's expensive, you are going to be living a life always in your overdraft,
fearful,
and always being broke.
Yeah.
Because the thought is that.
Wow. That's quite interesting, Michelle, that you said that, because I think, cast my mind back growing up, my dad used to always say, I just want enough, I just want to have enough each month to pay the bills, to do this. And actually, he had just enough every single month. He would never have,
more.
and if he were to come into more money than he had, something would happen for him to spend that extra money he had.
So he still had just enough
to bring him back right into that comfort zone.
Still giving him just enough.
Absolutely. So that's quite interesting that you said that.
So the thought cycle is key because it stems with thoughts, and we're going to be digging into your financial weeds tonight to see what is holding you back. What is holding you back from achieving the financial freedom you deserve? So the source of your result is thought. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to go back to that cycle. Every thought you have is a direct impact on the quality of your life you're living. And yes, we're talking about money tonight, new year, new money, but this applies to every aspect of your life. The people you hang around with, your health, mental health, physical health, every aspect of your life. So tonight is about the money. Every thought you have is impacting whether you are financially successful or not.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, Michelle, because cast my mind back 7 years ago when we before we started the housing side of our business, we always made, £500,000 a year as like a bog standard average. And we always used to say, this year's the year we're gonna like double our income or triple our
This is the
income.
year we're going to make it.
This is the year we're going to go from this level to the next level. But our thinking at the time was of the same, and we were doing the same activities and the same things over and over again. Nothing was changing until we read an amazing book that changed everything and started applying ourselves differently and changing the way we think about things. So it's quite interesting that you said that because that kind of reminded me.
It does, and we'll share what we did along the way in this webinar, but the source of your results is thought. So if your bank statements aren't reflective of what the result you want, it has to start with thought. So if you keep on doing, like you just said, what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. We were coasting, earning the same every year, but we wanted and aspired to have more. But we were kept on doing the same thing. Well, if you keep on doing the same thing, you're always going to keep getting the same results. So some things had to change. So if you're not doing as well as you'd like to, it means two things. It means there's something you don't know. So if you're not doing as well as you like to, it means there's something you don't know. It also means, because results speak for themselves, it also means that if you want to move to a high level of life, you have to be willing to let go of old ways of thinking and old ways of being to adopt new ones.
And that's what we had to do.
That's what we did. We did it. And we're here tonight to share with you how to implement that in order for you to live the life that you want financially. And results will speak for themselves. The bank balance and the bank statement won't lie. Results don't lie. If you're not happy with an aspect of result in your life, it could be the weight on the scales or the bank statement or the quality of relationships you have.
Social network.
Results speak for themselves. Results don't lie.
And this is where people sometimes, when the results are giving them the feedback, this is where they tend to find the excuses of why they're getting the results, not knowing that actually it's an inner job. It's not an outside thing. It's not going to a more well-paid job or moving to a bigger house or changing your partner. It's an internal thing because you are going to attract the same results whatever you do on the outside. Because it's an inner work, it's an inside job, and this is the secret of what you're going to be picking up on in this presentation. That this whole presentation and this whole mindset is around the way you think.
And at this point, if there's anything in the chat that anyone wants to just ask questions as we go, Kane, we've got the back team helping with the technology and keep an eye on the chat facility. So feel free just to interject and let us know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So
just to come back to the money goals that you asked about earlier, Michelle.
Yeah.
So we had Nat and Tanya both saying they want to make 100K per year. And then we had Becky and Adam with the slightly more ambitious goal of 1 million per year.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
And let me tell you, you're going to be happy and sad. Happy because you're going to realize you're going to actually achieve this goal knowing what you know tonight, and sad because you wish you'd put something a bit bigger.
Absolutely.
So we learned along the way. We went to lots of seminars, we did lots of personal development. We even paid £1,000 for a 30-minute phone call when we were going into the property field. £1,000 for a 30-minute phone call that we actually didn't even get.
And this is the thing, but this is going back to the start of us understanding that the pattern that we were in, the thinking and the behaviors that we had at the time, we knew we had to do something different. Although we paid that £1,000 for that conversation that we didn't have, we actually applied ourselves in other ways. Like we started going to seminars. We started meeting reading the right books and going to the right networking events and applying ourselves. and taking chances and thinking differently about what we were doing. So we were making those changes because we knew we had to if we wanted to achieve the things we wanted to achieve.
And along the way, we learnt rich people think in a certain way, and poor people, and I'm talking mindset here because it's all about mindset. Poor people think a completely different way, and their ways determine their actions, and actions determine results. So, how did the rich people think? So, we also learnt along the way that we're here on this planet to
Solve a problem.
serve people, to help people become
Absolutely.
great. And if you are solving a problem and serving others, the money is going to flow. Solving a problem, serving people equals money. So when we start thinking about your place in this world and what you're doing, as long as you're solving a problem and serving others, the money will flow. And as long as it's also a passion, you've got to be doing what fills you up and makes your heart sing. And for us, it's our passion is people. Our passion is helping businesses and people become great. And that's what we're good at. So the stats, the doom and gloom, did you know that 80% of people never achieve their full potential? 80% of people will never be financially free in the way they'd like to be. Did you know this one? 80% of people claim they are not happy. This is key because how we think and feel and behave and the person we become in the character we are being on a day-to-day basis, if we are not resonating on a happy level, on a good vibration level, positive vibration, high frequency, we are not going to be attracting the life that we want.
And that's quite interesting, Michelle, because the things that we do in terms of our own self-development outside of this kind of context is when you dive into the depth of self-development, they all go to the same thing. They all speak around the vibration of a person and how that person feels within themselves.
Mhm.
And it's easy to go write some affirmations out or go and speak all these positive things to yourself, but the universe only responds to what's inside of you. So if
And you are feeling.
yeah, if you're saying things but really don't feel excited about your goals, don't feel happy or feel content or feel a sense of peace and success within yourself, the goals and the things you're saying are just wishful thinking. You don't have to have those things in your present, but you have to feel as if you have those things. And that's the bit where people kind of struggle with because you look at the bank balance, you look at the weight on the scale, and you feel upset. You feel like, wow, this is what I have. But you've got to learn and trick your mind and start to apply that vibration of feeling as if the things that you want are already here.
And that's where most people are unconscious. They work and think only on a superficial level of life based on only what they can see, because seeing is believing. They'll only do it when they can see the success, when actually it's about looking at the invisible in order to achieve the visible. And these people living on just a superficial level of life only live in the visible world.
So if
And
you
we're
make it and then
once you make it,
Yeah.
then I might join that scheme you were just talking about.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Mark Zuckerberg when he started Facebook and he wanted his friends and get them together and start the business. He pulled them into his garage and said, "Hey," and they were like, "How many went for the business?"
I think there was only like a couple at the time. I think he brought like 15 people, and I think one or two people showed up at his
And then
the door.
once Facebook blows, oh, they wish they'd, oh, now I'll join. Well, actually, it's too late.
I can use something even more, even is just recent today. We signed a really lucrative contract, and we shared this with the team in the office today. An investor came in and invested a six-figure into our property business, and the words he said to us, he says, "Actually, you guys have the vision." And I'm just excited by being a part of this. And this is the guy who kind of helped us 6 years ago, giving us the first property when we first started our rent-to-rent business. And we grew that business, a multi-million-pound business, within 9 months. So he saw what happened. But for him today, when he signed that contract, he was like, "Well, you guys have the vision. I'm just gonna go with it." So we haven't got that thing that he's invested in yet, but he sees what can happen because not only have we done it with something else, he now believes in what we're doing. So it's about getting your mind there in that feeling state to be able to achieve what you want.
Yeah, you've got to start seeing the invisible. And it's only when you start seeing the invisible, the visible happens. So let's get out of that unconscious way of thinking and being and just looking at what is current now. Actually, you've got to keep your sights on what you want it to be and act as if it's now. So how you're sitting there thinking, how are you going to tell me? How can I get financial freedom? How can I be happier, more successful? How can I have the things that others have? How can I achieve, all the things I desire? And the answer is simple. I'm going to share a principle from T. Harv Eker about the roots creating the fruits, the tree of life. Let's call this the tree of life. The fruits on the tree equal the results. However, it's what's under the ground that creates what's above the ground. This is the analogy now of the invisible to the visible. It's what's under the ground, the invisible, creates what's visible, creates the fruits. The fruits are the results. If you want to change the visible, the fruits, you must first change the invisible, i.e. the roots. In order to get better fruits, you have to change the roots. So in order to get better results, you've got to first change the invisible. And if you're thinking, well, what is the invisible?
What is the invisible, Michelle?
The invisible is how you are thinking, feeling, and being on a day-to-day basis that is attracting and aligning with the universal law of abundance. That's the key.
So it's quite similar to like the things that people don't want, and they wonder why the things that they don't want tend to show up all the time, because the vibration that they're giving off is of anxiety, worry, fear, and all of the things that they don't want, and they wonder why things are showing up each day in their lives that gives them that same result.
So we live in a world of duality. Up, down, light, dark, hot, cold. It's all opposites. Fast, slow, left, right, north, south, happy, sad, rich and poor. We live in a world of duality. And the money laws, again, the duality, you have inner laws and outer laws. And the inner laws are all about who you are being, how you think, what your beliefs are, how you really feel about yourself, how confident you are, how well you relate to others, how much you trust, and your ability to act regardless of worry, discomfort, or just not being in the mood. Do you still get up and do? Or do you sit back and just accept that mood and say, hey ho, I'll have another donut?
And nothing you can do about it.
And the outer laws is the business knowledge, the money management and investment strategies. And we are going to be working on and sharing with you that in order to attract money, we've got to work on those inner laws. We've got to work on the invisible in order to get the visible. So people say you've got to be in the right place at the right time. They were lucky. Oh, they were lucky when Bob walked through our office, and they were lucky that you invested a six-figure number into our business.
Only if they knew, which we've been trying this for 3 years to actually get the right investor on board into this initiative.
So right place, right time is not enough. You have to be the right person in the right place at the right time. It's not just right time. You have to be the right person. How are you being as a person? Are you in alignment to receive? Are you ready to receive? Who are you being? How do you think? What are your habits? Who are you being as a person on a day-to-day basis?
But it's also what just to add to that, it's about what are you doing differently to what you're already doing.
Well, what are you going to do differently?
Yeah.
Because if you keep on doing and keep on being the same person you've been, you're going to keep getting the same results.
Absolutely.
That's the harsh truth. If you're happy with every aspect of your life, keep on doing what you're doing and end this webinar. If there's an element of improvement or element of feeling of unfulfilled, or you've got something inside of you but you don't know what, or you aspire to have other things, then stay tuned and stay with us. We've also got a free gift at the end of this webinar too for those that stay right through to the end. But being the right person, working on the invisible, who you are being on a day-to-day basis. What are you thinking on a day? Are you waking up checking your bank balance because you're scared you're going to hit your overdraft? Are you waking up with anxiety because you're wondering how on earth you're going to pay the next bill? How are you thinking and feeling on a day-to-day basis? Because that is what you are attracting. And in order to get yourself into a place of abundance, you have to be in alignment with abundance. So you first have to understand your money blueprint. So you have a preset you have a certain relationship. You are preset to have a certain relationship with money. And that's based on your upbringing, your conditioning, your thoughts, feelings, your actions and behaviors. And we did this in our staff briefing last week where we gave everyone a check and everyone had to write themselves a check.
Yeah, you told me about it because I missed this one.
And one of the staff said, you know, I've got my dad in my ear going, oh, how much are you putting aside for investment?
Mhm.
How much are you saving for that rainy day? And all of these things
It's programming.
is programming, but it shapes our beliefs. It shapes our beliefs and our behaviors towards money. And these attitudes then become your automatic responses that run the rest of your life because you've programmed. And unless you're prepared to reprogram and take on board some of the things we're going to share with you tonight, you'll keep on achieving what you've always had because nothing will be different. So in order to change, I said to you at the start, nothing will be any different unless you're prepared to change your financial blueprint, unless you're prepared to work on what it is that's actually holding you back. And hopefully tonight you'll identify what are your money blockers and what you can do to
Achieve.
to push on.
Absolutely.
So your financial blueprint, if your subconscious financial blueprint is not set for success, nothing you learn, nothing you know, nothing you do will make a difference. So we need to look at childhood experiences, childhood influences that have shaped the person you've become today, and particularly for tonight's conversation, shaped your financial blueprint, and how they lead to either self-defeating thoughts and habits or success habits and thoughts. So hopefully you're going to learn powerful affirmations as well. But like you said earlier, affirmations are nothing, are just wishful thinking if we are feeling something different. If we're saying, I am abundant, but you're feeling worried and sick for the next bill that comes through the door, you're not in alignment. You have to have your head and your heart in congruence, working in harmony with each other.
And this has nothing to do with your bank balance. This whole presentation has nothing to do with what's in your bank right now. We are talking about the inner laws within yourself because this is where we need to get to. We need to get to a place where the inner laws inside of us is a completely match with what we want.
So how can you tell what your money blueprint is currently set for? Well, look at your bank account, look at your income. If you're set for the income and you're settled for tens of thousands, or are you settling like Nat and a few other people wanted 100 grand a year or £1 million a year? It's about looking at what is your current income, what is your net worth, what are your investments, looking at your success, looking at how well you manage money. Some people spend their money before they've even got it. Looking at your money habits, looking at how hard you work for your money, because you know there's a common myth here that you have to work hard to get money. Well, if that's the case, all of those hard workers
would be rich,
would be wealthy. And that's not the case. So, if you heard growing up, you have to work hard for money, it's a myth, because people who work hard and graft and work 16 hours a day should be wealthy, but in most cases are not. So we're going to start to dive into that. Look at your relationships and look at how consistent or inconsistent are you in terms of, are you erratic? Do you save, and then spend like a splurge spend?
Splurge spender.
So money is, I want people to write down the things that come to mind, all of the words in the chat facility. Money is blank, fill in the blank. Money is, Conway, for you.
Money for me is it's my servant.
That's a good one.
So money is my servant.
It is. How many people think money is my master?
Yeah.
Money is my servant. I like that. Kane, can we hear what people are saying in the chat?
Yeah.
Also,
so we've got Nat, who's just said this time of year is hard for those with SAD, which is
Adjustment disorder.
yes, I think it's seasonal affective disorder. So people who struggle during the winter months.
Hmm.
So the rest of that message was any tips to rise above those thoughts and get back on good vibrations. And she's also said she's going to change 100K a year to 100K a month.
Okay, there you go. And money is, have we got any of those? So the question going back to is it, how do people get out of that feeling of um doomy, gloomy, Monday morning blues, the rain, the lack of sunshine. That's what seasonal adjustment or seasonal affective disorder is. But it's people who struggle just to cope with the seasons, and cope, when it's darker nights with less sunshine, less sunlight. And it's a case of just, appreciating actually, do you know what? It's raining right now and thinking the grass is getting watered, the flowers are getting watered, and just spinning a different perspective on it to say, do you know what? The darker nights means cozier nights in.
It's all a perspective, isn't it? And that's the thing about like working on your mindset and truly changing up the way you look at things. Because the things outside don't change. It's what changes how we look at those things. So if you can try apply a more positive outlook towards the things that you are concerned about or worried about, that will change that feeling within. So talking back to about what we said about the changing the inner world, when you're starting to live life in a positive state of mind, you try to find the blessings and a positive spin on the things that are not so positive in your mind, for example,
or in your life,
or in your
with
life
the
currently.
circumstances.
It's just living and trying to spin things all the time.
Listen, you can't change the weather. You can't change the dark nights, but what you can change is your perspective and how you feel about those on the inside out, and start,
That's if you want to, because that's the thing about,
yes,
changing the way you think and changing your mindset to a more positive way of thinking. You've got to really want to shift that way of thinking because it's easy for us to say to you, think positive or do positive things. But if you don't really want to, then you're gonna keep sticking to that way of thinking.
yes, because there's some people who like to complain, who like
Like
to
to
feel like that, who like to be sorry, poor me syndrome, and feel sorry for themselves and be that withdrawn. People enjoy being that. Well, if you enjoy being that, keep on doing what you're doing. But if you're not, something has to change. And what we're saying to you is the thing that needs to change is an inside out job, because you can't change the weather, you can't change the seasons. You can change your response to them. That's what you have the power to do. And we offer coaching on that.
Yeah, and just to go back to what I said, the things you're worried about, or the outside world will not change. What will change is how you perceive those things. So that's where you would start by looking and applying a different outlook to the things that you're worried about. And this is where we can dive into it. I know tonight is about money, but just to leave you with this write that list of all the things that you're concerned about. And then next to that thing, write a positive, the opposite to what that thing is. And that's where you would start. So try and replacing the things that you're worried about and stressed about with something more positive.
And Kane, do we have anything? Money is.
Yeah, so we got Naveen who said money is a need. We've got Nat who said money is freedom.
Mhm.
BC said it's a vehicle. Jacqueline said freedom as well. Becky and Adam said money is power. I've actually said money is everywhere.
Mhm.
Um, and um, and then Nat just commented saying the master or servant comparison was really good and offers a change of perspective and it's great advice.
I like that. I like it when you said, Conrad, money is your servant, money my servant, because some people think money is my master, and that the money is controlling them as opposed to you controlling the money. And that's a powerful thing, but that's another whole conversation. So another activity, I want you just to write down a load of things, what you heard, what you saw, what you experienced as a child growing up about money. And while you're doing that, I'll talk about a little bit about me, and I know you touched on what you heard with your dad. Um, so me, I heard money doesn't grow on trees, Michelle. It's either this or that. Choose. I heard money is the root of all evil. I don't know if you've heard that one. I
Rich
know
people are,
rich people, they're just, yeah,
what have they done to get to that place, or what do they have to do to earn that car or
they must have
drive?
done something wrong. They
Yeah.
must have done something bad, something evil to get the money. Um, just write down what you heard, what you saw, and what you experienced. You might have seen parents arguing over money. You might have seen hardship. You might have seen money just there all around you. You might have just had money easy. What did you experience? What did you see? What did you hear? What did you experience as a child growing up about money?
I think, for me, like, because I grew up in the Caribbean and, I had a mix of, I would say, a really nice upbringing, and there were some parts where it was re a real struggle. And, the struggling bit was really tough because I didn't have any money. There was nights I went to bed without really having a
A hot meal.
really good meal. And I can remember those times so vividly, and I was very young, probably like 7, 8 years old. And then, another part of my young life, I had the biggest dinners, and I was even overfed at one point because I was eating like I never had before. So I had a mixed blend growing up, and I think for me, the bit that stuck with me the most was the fact that I felt money was like it was my comfort blanket. If I didn't have money, I
Your
felt like the
security.
yeah, it was like my security, and I felt like whenever I get it, I had to really keep it. But then I would spend it like there was no tomorrow when I wanted to do something. So it was a very up and down relationship for a very long time until I really had to dive deep within myself and understand, the cause of how and why I viewed money the way I did. Until I understood and I allowed money to come into my life. I welcome it with grace and I put it to work as well, and I use it to do good in the world. But yeah, it's a mix of experience growing up.
And also, I think I heard growing up, that money doesn't buy you happiness, money doesn't make you happy. And that's another thing I've had to really work on over the course of time in changing my financial blueprint because it's not about choosing. So I want to hear from the audience what kind of things, what did you hear? What did you see? What did you experience? What have we got there, Kane?
So we've got Becky and Adam. So Becky said that her dad taught that money is to be feared. It's dangerous to let money control you, and money is definitely a master.
Wow.
Adam's mum showed him that money or lack of it did not control their life, and money was never a reason to not get or have something.
Mm-hmm. And then,
Um, we've got Jacqueline who said that if I didn't pay for private school education, she could have had 3 houses. So it just goes to show how expensive private school is.
hmm
Um, I actually put in a message saying that money was very tight for me growing up. My mum was single. She was in debt most of the time. She was constantly juggling bills, trying to make it work. Obviously, I suppose when you got kids, you have to do what you have to do. Um, oh, we're getting more replies, so I keep having to scroll up.
it's
Um,
great.
Keep them coming.
Naveen has said that he grew up seeing money being spent freely, so he thought it was easy. Because of that, he didn't have the habit of saving money, and now he knows how tricky it is to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Nat said that her view on money growing up was work hard and save. Father working hard, mother at home, which offered stability, and fortunate enough to have that, and she would like to offer that for her family. Parents encouraged her to get a job at 15 so I could buy what I want and not ask them for money.
So money brings independence, I suppose. That's what the experience was for
Yep. And
that.
then Christine says for her, her parents struggled a bit and she didn't get everything she wanted, but this gives her the discipline as an adult.
Mm-hmm. So
So I
money was.
suppose, yeah, not getting everything you want as a child makes you
Mhm.
grow up and makes you want to go and get it.
Yeah.
And then Tanya said that she liked, I like some of what you said. Um, so she was told that money is evil, and you need to work hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
And just before Michelle dive into the depth of this, I just want to say all these comments and responses, they're neither wrong or right. So don't believe like any of this is, wrong or right. It's what you were raised on. All we're here to do is share some different ways of looking at things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel like actually I see what you're saying and I want to make these changes, then make them. But we've all kind of had very similar experiences with money growing up because this way of thinking is a very small percentage of people that think this way. They say it's like 3% of the population that think the way we are teaching this content, because it's not taught in school. So just to let you know that.
Even now, when we have conversations with my mum, my mum will say so often, "Gosh, that's expensive," or it's too expensive," or it's very expensive. And I say, "Mum, just listen to yourself. You're saying everything is expensive." And actually, you should flip it up and say, I'm thankful I have enough to pay for what I'm paying for. And flipping up in its head, but it's become that habit. It's going back to the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, habits. It's a habit, it's her default way of thinking, because money was hard, growing up. Money.
And that's where like they would say probably 97% of the world is programmed with a scarcity mindset because the words and the things that we use related to money, it's the natural response is like your mom,
Yeah.
it's expensive, or
That's
well, don't look
scarcity.
at that, don't look at that, you're not having that, or everything is just hard and it's so far out of reach when it's actually not.
And these beliefs, these things that you've heard, that you saw, that you experienced as a child, has shaped your attitudes and beliefs towards money at a subconscious level that you don't even know. So we're here to raise consciousness to the beliefs that you've been having and holding on to that you weren't even aware of, because it's become your default financial blueprint. Those beliefs have shaped your financial blueprint, and your thermostat is set. Now we need to reset that thermostat. That's what tonight is all about. So all of those sayings, it's too expensive, go ask your dad.
Go ask your mom.
Go ask your mum. It's showing that if you heard go ask your dad.
Go ask my dad, yeah.
So it meant that the mum in the household, women don't have money. That's the kind of belief it can shape.
And the funniest thing is, like, that actually is quite true because how my parents met was just understanding my parents is like I believe my dad was the one that had, he had a job in Jamaica, for example, and he was working, he was earning, and my mom didn't. So she found a man that was doing quite well financially. So the way that you think and your behaviors, it all kind of stems back to that whole upbringing that you experienced as a child.
Money's not the be all and end all. It's either this or that. I can't afford it, and so on. So, what you have to do is work on changing those thoughts, changing that inner dialogue, letting go of these old beliefs. And believe you me, it's a full-time job working on that mindset, because you'll naturally want to go back to your default way of thinking and being, because that's what you've learned for however old you are.
And how long would you say it would take someone to shift a new way of thinking around
It
money?
depends. If you're really focused and you want to insert, and you have to start raising awareness of how you're speaking and how you're thinking and how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis, not a superficial level of life and you walk around sleepwalking your way through life. You have to be awake. You have to be listening to what you are saying to yourself, how you're talking to yourself, how you are feeling, how you are being on a day-to-day basis. We're in progress, we're a work in progress.
100%.
Like I said, life is a journey, not a destination. You don't suddenly just get there, but it's a continuous journey, continuous work, someone holding you accountable to say, hey, it's also about who you're surrounding yourself with. if you, relationships, for example, if your beliefs, if you're married to someone or in a relationship with someone and you've got opposing beliefs about money, one person saves, and the other person spends, you've got a problem in that relationship because your values about money, your beliefs about money are poles apart. And that can be, I've seen it, finances alone can make or break relationships because people are not in alignment with the same beliefs.
I was going to say it's not the finance, it's the
It's
beliefs.
it's the beliefs.
Because the finance has you put that.
It's not the money.
Yeah, you put that money in an environment where it will be nourished and bring to life and serve people. It will do wonders. But you put it in an environment where the mindset is of the opposite, it's going to cause problems. So it's never ever about the money. And I just want to add to something here, but I feel it's quite key. So myself and Michelle, we did a 21-day manifestation about money. So we did the whole thing around
Just
money.
recently, we finished on the 18th of January.
And when we did this same kind of 21-day manifestation challenge, we did this 6 years ago when we started the housing side of our business, and we knew we had to do something different. And what that did for us, it allowed us to do things differently, but also thought differently. So anyway, we did this challenge, and part of the challenge is you have to create a money vision board with all the different monies that you want. And we've had our kids do the same as well, and they've achieved so much of their goals in the last week. But we did one, and one of Michelle's goals was to achieve £300,000. And she kept
money.
In money, and she was like, well, I'm gonna achieve this by the end of this day. And I know Michelle, when she says something with conviction, I've seen it for the last 12 years. When she says something and she means it, it always happens. And she said, I'm gonna have £300,000 by the end of today. And I'm like, what's gonna happen? In my head, I just knew there's always possibilities because in what we do. So
it's not our job to worry about the how.
But she said this, and I was like, okay, great. And then I rang her later on in that day. She was at the nails bar getting her nails done, and we spoke for a little bit. She was like, I'm waiting for my phone call for the 300,000. So anyway, at like 10 to 12 that night, we're doing I think, our final day of manifestation, and we're going through the whole thing. And she's like, oh, I got a text from the person who invested in us today. And she looks at her message, and no word of a lie, the message said, I've got £300,000 from his property remortgaging, and he's going to invest it back into more properties.
Is it enough for you?
Is it enough for you guys? I was like, oh my God, I shut the house down. But this is the power of when you change the way you view money, when you align yourself with what you really want, but you have to believe that it's possible for you. So don't write things that you think are out of reach and you're never going to be able to align yourself. 300,000 is an amount that Michelle aligned herself with.
And it's one of the amounts. There's a couple of million on there. There's 50p on there. There's £2.
This happened, and it was, and these are the things that you're going to learn. Is like you have to align yourself mentally first with the things that you want on the outside, because nothing that you want for yourself is far out of reach. You just have to believe that it's possible for you.
Yeah. So when you realize that some of your non-supportive beliefs are holding you back, you have to change your beliefs towards money. Money isn't the thing that makes people good or bad. So money is the root of all evil. You must have done something bad to get the money. People are like that in the first place. Money just magnifies your personality, magnifies who you are being. Money just magnifies and amplifies the person you naturally are. So if you are generous, money, when you come into money, you'll be more generous. But if you're tight, you'll be tight with or without money. It's not the money that changes people. It's the people who you surround yourself with who have different feelings towards you if you were to come into money or not.
Absolutely, because they're the ones who are probably going to argue for money. They're the ones' behavior change towards you because you have money. It's not the person with money. The person with money have always been who they are. It just makes them more of what they are. It's the people around them
that's changed.
who change their perception, because they probably start going to that person, can I have this? Can I have that? And they're probably getting told no or yes or maybe or whatever. So it's the behaviors of people around that changes, not the person with money. They already are who they are.
So when you start digging out the weeds from your inner financial garden, like I said, it's the inside. When you start working on the roots, you then start to watch the fruits unfold before your eyes. So the only permanent way to change the temperature in the room, let's use a thermostat as an example. The only permanent way to change the temperature in the room is to reset your thermostat. In the same way, the only way to change your level of financial success permanently is to reset your financial thermostat. Some people's thermostats are set below zero, and some other people's thermostats are set for making lots of money. If Elon Musk had
A million £1 in his
a
bank.
million pound in his bank account, he would feel poor because his thermostat is set for trillions. So where is your thermostat set for? What is your financial blueprint set for? Is it set for 30 grand a year, 50 grand a year? We talk that 50 grand a year job is a great job to have, when actually we've put a limit and a ceiling on subconsciously without even knowing it. And therefore we just settle for and aspire to achieve those jobs of no more than 50 grand. So if you are not fully committed to creating wealth, chances are you won't. If your goal is to be comfortable, then chances are you'll never be rich and wealthy. But if your goal is to be rich, there's mighty chance that you'll be comfortable. And the third thing is the law of income is you're paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver according to the marketplace.
What do you mean by that, Michelle?
So what the value you bring, so people who work in jobs, employees, the value they bring to the business, they will be paid in direct proportion to the value they bring. There's people who go the extra mile. There's people who always go above and beyond. Guess what? They're the people who suddenly get that promotion, who get that opportunity, who get that bonus, who get that pay rise, who get the extra mile, who get the shares, who get whatever it is that may be. And then someone comes along and says, oh, they were lucky, they're in the right place at the right time. Actually, no, it's about being the right person in the right place at the right time. So you are paid in direct proportion to the value anyone brings to the marketplace. And like us, anything we do, we under-promise and over-deliver every single time. That's our mantra. We are here to serve, to give more than what we receive in cash value. And we do that every time.
All the time.
All the contracts we've ever had, under-promise, over-deliver. And we smash our targets, we get results, we get outcomes, and we've got happy people who've put the funds to us.
And people always say, you guys, we've never ever had to market up until the last few years until we created our online platform. All of our contracts, government contracts, have always been repeat customs because we deliver on what we say we're going to do, and our results speak for themselves.
Give more in cash value. Give more in value than you receive in cash value, because then the opportunities will open up to you. So the money mindset quiz, quick question. It's true or false. You can just write these 1 to 10, true or false, to put T for true, F for false. I am fearful, and on your own notepad, I am fearful of my finances and feel anxious just thinking about it. True or false?
And this is where you've got to be honest about where you're at right now. We don't want the answers of what you think it should be. And this is for
We don't
everybody.
want the answers. I just want you just to do the quiz in your head on paper, and at the end you'll know I'll give you these 10
Just
questions.
be honest with yourself.
So I'm fearful of my finances and feel anxious just thinking about it. Number 2, I don't feel in control of my money. I don't feel in control of my money. Number 3, I feel pessimistic about my financial future. I feel excited about my financial future.
So excited. so excited.
So I feel pessimistic about my financial future. True or false? Number 4, I feel intimidated by my money and how others handle theirs. I feel intimidated by my money and how others handle theirs. Number 5, I fear I'll never understand my finances or manage it. I fear I will never understand my finances or manage them. Number 6, I tend to procrastinate with financial decisions or actions. True or false? I tend to procrastinate with financial decisions or actions. Number 7, I don't know how to grow my wealth and don't think I ever will. I don't know how to grow my wealth and don't think I ever will. Number 8, I only deserve what I currently have and nothing more. I only deserve what I currently have and nothing more. And number 9, I will never reach my financial goals or get out of debt. I will never reach my financial goals or get out of debt.
And you're reading this in your third person.
Well, I'm not reading it personally. And number 10, money will never be my friend. This is nothing to do with me. I'm just reading the script. Money will never be
Money
my
is
friend.
my best friend.
Money is my best friend. Let's flip them all, can't we?
Absolutely.
So, 10 questions. If you answered mostly false, then congratulations, because you generally have a positive mindset towards money. But if you've generally answered more true than false, then we need to work on switching up those negative thought patterns into more positive thought patterns. Scarcity versus abundance mindset. We've touched upon scarcity earlier. So another way to think of positive or negative money mindset is to relate it to scarcity or abundance. So scarcity, signs of scarcity, is living paycheck to paycheck, feeling overwhelmed or depressed by your finances, feeling guilty of past financial mistakes, feeling jealous of how others handle their money or how wealthy other people are, feeling upset with your current situation financially, believing there isn't enough to go around, and living in the short term, can't see a long term option. That is a scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
Is there anything you want to talk around those?
I think that's quite interesting because there's many people, like I said, I was one of those persons for a long time, living on short term, feeling anxious about my financial situation. These are all relatable, so yeah, it's a good start.
And the opposite of abundance. So, signs of abundance is having savings, you can afford anything you desire, feeling excited by your finances and your future, letting go of past financial mistakes, being genuinely happy for others who are wealthy, happy, successful, feeling thankful with your current financial situation, believing there is more than enough to go around, and planning for the long term and that you can see a longer term option. So that is more of an abundant mindset. So there you've got the negative and positive, and you might relate and be some of each. But actually, you've got to move more towards the abundant mindset. Being genuinely happy for others. How many people? You'll never attract the money.
I was going to talk on that as
Were
well.
you? You're
Yeah.
never going to attract wealth and abundance and have financial freedom if you think people with money are
Bad or good.
bad,
Well, definitely
greedy,
good. Mm-hmm.
You're jealous of them, envy, any of those signs, those negative feelings towards people. It's like, someone drives a nice car, they're driving along, and suddenly you see this nice car trying to squeeze in. Are you that kind of person who says, hey, murk the burp, or whatever it may be, or diss that driver because they're driving, or that rich person driving their car? Or do you willingly say, hey, come in, and you're blessing that car? Complimenting the person. It's the same for people who want to lose weight as well. And the kind of comments they make towards someone, maybe for men, for example, they see a toned fit man, it's like, oh, he must be taking something, he must be on the gear, he must, those things, those feelings and thoughts that you're having and the words you're speaking in your head is either going to,
it's repelling what you really want, isn't it?
It is, because if you admire that body and see a good body walk down the street, male or female, and admire that body and say, wow, you are then likely to attract that into your reality. And it's the same with money.
Because it's like basically saying, like just to add to what you said, Michelle, is if you kind of view something, for example, money, if you view money as bad because of somebody else's what you think that person is or what they've done to achieve that money, what you're saying in your subconscious mind is that you don't want to be a bad person, so therefore you will never have the money. You don't want to be I don't know, whatever name you call a person who drives a really nice car, basically you don't want to be that person. So everything that you're wanting, you're naturally repelling it because you're associating all those things with such a negative attachment to them.
It's the association.
Yeah,
So if you're associating money with a bad person, you don't want to be a bad person, so you're never going to get the money. That's exactly what you just
absolutely.
said.
Yeah.
So money beliefs, just 5 money beliefs we're going to go through. I'm just conscious of time. 25 minutes left. So money belief number 1: rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. The blame game, poor me. They even justify money's not that important. You know, people who are about to go and buy a new car and then it falls through and then they say, oh, well, I didn't really want that car in the first place.
It's quite a similar to the exercise we did at work where you held up the £10 in the staff briefing, and no one in, you had 20 something people in that meeting, that briefing, and one of our staff stood up and got the money. The other, we asked the whole team, why,
Who wants this money?
who wanted it, but when we asked them why didn't you come and get it, people were saying, I don't know what I had to do to get the money, or she needed it more than me, or whatever.
I don't really value the £10 you're holding.
So many people, they when they all these other things to justify why they don't have the money they want, but secretly that they want it. So again, it's talking about what is going on the inside. What is that inside dialogue? What is that message that you really have inside of you? That's what's giving you the outcome that you're getting in your life right now.
And we touched upon the people who complain, complain about the weather, complain about their day, complain about the waiter who's bought the wrong coffee to you, or whatever it is it may be. And what you're doing in the act of complaining is you're attracting more things to complain about. So more things will go wrong in order for you to complain about, because your default is set for complaining. So your subconscious mind will filter out all of the things that are going right and just focus on all of the things that are going wrong just for you to complain about. That's how the subconscious mind works. It's like a muscle, training the muscle. We're going to retrain that subconscious mind, reprogram to help you live the life that you exactly want.
And just to remind you guys, feel free to drop in the comment box any questions, anything you want to just add at any point. And Kane, feel free to interrupt us if there's any comments in the box, because we can't see anything that's going on there. So feel free to enter at any time, guys.
Is there anything, Kane, at this point?
Yeah, so when we was running through the money beliefs, we actually had Christine who answered false to all 10.
Wow.
So I've just put a reply to her saying, thank you, Christine. You have a very positive money mindset.
Brilliant.
Christine, let's do some one-to-one work at the end. Let's catch up. But I'm going to ask you another question. Money or love?
Just write the first thing that comes to mind.
Money or love?
This is where we want you to share it in the box very quickly. And Kane, feel free to just read them out as they come through, okay?
Put them in the chat facility. Money or love? Kane, what about you? Money or love?
So Jacqueline said love, Nat said both, Tanya said both. I would say yeah, a bit of both. Not to sit on the fence.
Those on the fence get splinters.
Yeah, everyone's saying both. Yeah,
Hang
Naveen
on.
said both, Christine said both. I think we all need to make a decision.
So,
In actual fact, none of you need to make a decision. The first thing I would say is if that's your natural response, then fantastic. But has there been a point in your life where you would have chosen between either or either? Because there was a point where I would have done, because before now, yes, I would have chosen, I would have chosen one, cast my mind back 15 years ago, I would have probably chosen one or the other. But if this is your general state now, then fantastic. If you're not hitting the financial goals that you want to achieve, there's something else that we need to kind of tap into. But you are definitely on the right track.
it's because we're programmed and conditioned to choose. Either or, it's this or that. They are both important. It's almost like putting on the board, do you want your arms or your legs? Which one would you choose, arms or your legs? Well, both.
We've had people that chose one,
Yeah, we did.
one or the other.
But you can't pay your electric bill with love. So people choose love. You can't pay your electric bill with love. They are both important and both in their own standalone
arena.
Arena.
I think that's one of the things that one of
That's
the things that really changed the game for us is once we truly understood that actually they're all very important. And when I go into conversation with people, like, and this will come up at times, I always put this on blast, and people were like, "Oh, actually, now I see what you mean. You don't have to choose. You don't have to associate them with one or the other." And people as human beings, we always tend to do that. We always tend to, money can't buy you happiness. Happiness is its own standalone. Money is its own standalone. Love is its own
And
standalone.
oxygen.
And oxygen all
They're all
standalone.
up there.
But they're all up there together. They're all very important, especially in today's society. You can't go a day without having money. And one of the in the science of getting rich, one of the greatest things it teaches you is about man becoming wealthy because you need money to do the things you need to do in your life. It is so important.
So we're here to say you can have your cake and eat it too. And rich mindset people think they can have their cake and eat it. Middle class people think the cake is too rich, I'll just have a little piece. And then poor people think they don't deserve the cake, so they order a donut and focus on the whole and wonder why they have nothing.
It's a great quote from T. Harv Eker, by the way.
So, money belief number 2. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game to not lose. It's like sport. Ex-PE teacher, I wouldn't coach my team to be on the defense. If I'm teaching my team to play on the defense, I'm coaching them to not lose. If I teach my team to play on the offense, I'm coaching them to win.
There's a mighty chance of you actually succeeding and winning.
Yeah, but most people just want enough, just have money for survival. Most people play the money game on the defense, just for survival and security, instead of creating wealth and abundance. When you're playing the money game to win, you're doing it to create wealth and abundance. When you're doing it on the defense, playing it to not lose, you're just doing it for survival and security. And
would you say, like, just to touch on that a little bit, would you say, obviously, the inner work and the fear, one of the biggest things is the fear thing, but once you understand your mindset and switch up the way of thinking around money, you will see the risk and the things that could go wrong as actual learning curves as well, because to get to where you want to get to financially, you are going to go through learning. You are going to fail. You are going to, you're going to have some hard times on the way there, but just trust that it's always going to work out in the end for you. It's always going to work out. But that's the belief you need to kind of develop to achieve the financial goals that you want for yourself.
And winning and losing, offense and defense. Poor people's goals is to just have enough. They just want to be comfortable. Oh, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to have security. And there's a huge difference between being comfortable and being rich. But society programs us to say, if you say I want to be rich, it's almost knocked. It's almost
it's like rich
frowned upon, isn't it? Because you're greedy.
It's just a bit more like wealth, like wanting to be wealthy, because we're all born rich. We're all rich. They just say that some of us don't have enough money
in terms of wealth.
Yeah, but in terms of the wealth side, we are programmed just to have enough. We're not programmed to create wealth for our kids' kids and our kids' kids.
And we may have even been made to feel guilty for wanting more.
Yeah.
For not being satisfied. It's okay, having an attitude of gratitude, being grateful for what you have while you work on what you want. That's okay too. To keep on striving, that's okay. But to be comfortable, there's a mighty chance you're not going to be rich in terms of wealth.
And this is what Becky and Adam have just put in the chat. So they said that that sums up Becky's dad. He plays defense for security.
Yes.
So obviously just earning enough to feel just about secure, and then no more. Christine also replied to what you said earlier. She said yes, she's a business owner. She's also a Christian. And then following on from one of the points she said earlier, she said yes, blessings. She's very happy with what you guys are putting forward at the moment. And Jacqueline actually said to me, love makes you rich. I think a key question for everyone in the chat is, would you rather would you rather earn less doing something that you love, or would you earn more doing something that a lot of people earn a lot of money, but they don't necessarily like what they do. So what's more important, and maybe speak about that.
So this is going back to the thing I just touched upon is again, we are associating love, happiness with money. We're putting them together like this. They're not the same. They're not the same. If you earn a lot of money and you're not happy, then you need to find out why you're not happy in the first place and stop associating the money with the happiness. You're not happy because there's a reason why you're not happy. If you're sad about the work you're doing, you're sad about the work you're doing and you need to fix that. They're all different things and they all need their own attention, and stop bringing them together and saying you're not happy because you're making a lot of money. I
Or you're
know,
not happy because you're
yeah,
poor.
I know wealthy, happy people, and I also know broke people who are very happy too. So it's not about being rich and being happy or sad or whatever. You are those things for those reasons that are deep within yourself. So that's the first thing I would say is not associate them together. They're all separate entity. So if you're in a job and you earn a lot of money, fantastic, great job. And if you're not happy, then let's look at why you are not happy.
And if you're not happy doing the job, then you need to go and find a job you love, because then
Yeah.
the money will flow too. But
Absolutely.
people are scared because they're already earning the good money, but they'd rather stay in that dead end job, not dead end, but the job that's giving them enough money, but they're not happy with it. But they'd rather sacrifice their happiness because it's a job that's paying well. We need to dig deep and say, actually, do you know what? You can actually have both, but you've been conditioned to choose. And you're now relying on your default way of thinking and being to say, well, I'd rather have my money and I'm happy to sacrifice that for my happiness. When actually you can have both. And that's what we can do with people in terms of one-on-one coaching. So money belief number 3, rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. That's a big difference.
Just to add, we've got 12 minutes, so the
Webinar.
webinar will end within 12 minutes, so we need to go through this quite quickly.
Poor people think about the problems of getting rich and they're sending mixed messages to the universe and they're actually not sure of what they want. And the number one reason why people don't get what they want is because they don't even know what they want. When we gave, so if I said to you right now, write a check for £1 million, and now you've got to spend that £1 million, some people will struggle because they won't know what to spend it on. Well, if you don't know, if you can't spend £1 million,
how you expect you're going to achieve and attract £1 million?
how the universe isn't going to give you £1 million because you've got nothing to spend it on.
And that's one of the things that really helped me personally when I first started getting into this kind of context and this kind of way of philosophy is understanding where I was financially, mentally, and when I did this exercise for the first time and I got told, write a check for yourself for £10 million and spend that £10 million, I was struggling. I was struggling to think about what am I going to spend this 10 million on? You've got, and this is where you've got to really expand your financial container about the what you would do if you were to have this amount of money. That's one of the first things is re-engineering these kind of simple steps. So you have to be able to spend and express yourself with that money. And wealthy people think about how they can put that money to work. That's the first thing. And poor people think about how they can spend it just to have the sense of the things now. So that's a different way of looking at it as well.
That's delaying gratification, isn't it? When you're not just buying just to get that moment of spending, but actually longer term thinking as opposed to short term.
So it's both.
But commitment, rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people just want to be rich, but they're not happy to change anything, do anything different. Whereas rich people are saying, hey, I want to come along, I want to learn, show me a different way, show me a different way of thinking, show me a different way of being. What can I invest in? What's good right now?
Invest in their self as well.
Money belief, self-investment is the best investment, by the way. Money belief number 4, rich people admire other rich people. We've touched upon this earlier about poor people resenting the rich and successful people, the scarcity mindset versus the abundant mindset. You hear people mutter under their breath, oh, they're so lucky, or the rich snobs, or whatever it is. Like we said earlier, if you view people who have money in a bad way, You'll never be rich because you don't want to be perceived as a bad person. Resenting the rich creates negative feelings, and that's one sure way to stay broke. Start admiring the nice cars, the nice houses, the people with money.
And be genuinely happy for those people as well. Like genuinely be happy inside yourself. It's not about even what you say. Sometimes
It's about how you feel.
just be happy when you see somebody successful or someone doing well or someone have a nice body. Just inside yourself, you know what? I'm so happy for you and I wish you all the best. Just saying that in yourself changes the whole game.
And recognize when your thinking isn't empowering you, when your thinking is of negativity, negative energy, because that is what you will then start to attract for yourself. And the last money belief, number 5, is rich people associate with positive, successful people, and poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. It's that comfort zone, isn't it?
We tells them what to do.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things that keeps people poor and unsuccessful is that they listen to the people who are poor and unsuccessful. Don't do that business or don't do that. Okay.
What have you done?
Yeah.
So successful people look at other successful people as a motivator. They're saying, if they can do it, I can do it. If Richard Branson can have, a few hundred businesses, then so can we. And the fastest way to create wealth is to copy exactly how other rich people do it. How many people do you know that criticize people for being successful? They try and bring them down to their level. And that's when you need to start looking at the network of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Are they helping elevate you, or are they bringing you back down and reminding you of that you're not that person who's good enough, who's clever enough, who's smart enough, who's young enough, or good enough, whatever, or able enough? So think about who you're hanging around with. Associate with people who are positive, uplifting, successful people that you can aspire to be like, that inspire you to be the best version of you. And like I said, like people, you either affect others or you infect others. People are just energy. We give off energy. Who are you hanging around with, and what are they doing for you? How are they adding value to your life? Would you hug a person with COVID or highly contagious disease? No. You'd say no way. But negative people, negative thinking, negative energy around you is just the same. Blocked up, fever, persistent cough, gives you upset tummy, makes you don't feel good. And do you really want to be around people like that? So this is the time to take stock of the people you're hanging around with. So you've got to let go of old ways of thinking and beliefs that are holding you back. Be conscious of your inner talk, understand your relationship with money, and change up your inner world to change your outer world. Remember, you've got to work on the invisible to change the visible.
Absolutely.
And anything you desire, you can achieve. You've got to believe it, but it starts with you. So quickly, 5 powerful money mindset shifts in 5 minutes. Raise awareness of your beliefs and then change how you talk about money. We've spoken about this. Raise awareness of your beliefs. Are you habitually saying that's expensive? I can't afford it, because it's your default way of thinking and being. The seed, in a nutshell, you plant a seed. The seed is the mind. The seed is what you say to yourself. The feeling you create is the water. Let's use the plant analogy. So you plant a seed. The seed is the mind. The feeling you conjure up in your body, that's the water. The sun is certainty. You are certain. You courage of conviction. Conway said about when I was certain that £300,000 was going to land that day. You've got to be certain. It's the sun watering and nurturing the seed that's been planted. And the soil is the faith. So the seed is the mind, the feeling is the water, the certainty is the sun, and the soil is the faith. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up a week later and think, is that seed growing? Are we gonna have flowers this season? We trust in that process. And it's the same things that you've got to do with the money you want, the life you want, the body you want, or whatever it is. But we're talking about money tonight. The seed is the mind. The feelings you create is the water. So how you are feeling is all going to determine the conditions of the seed you've planted, whether it grows or not. And it's about having faith. Certainty, being certain and having faith in what it is you want to achieve, and know that it's possible. Let the universe do its magic. Surrender. Struggle repels money. Desperation repels money. So doubt repels money. Fear repels money. So doubt, desperation, struggle, all of those are repelling the universe bringing the money to you. So you've got to deal with those things in inside first. Speak positively about money. Positive words creates confidence, which propels you to take action and then creates the results. And then the results reinforce the self-confidence and so on. So the more you speak positively, it will create a snowball effect. Never throw away money. And when you find money, pick it up and be grateful for that money.
What I'd like to do is at this point is
we won't cut off. It
No?
won't cut off. It
Okay.
definitely won't cut short. But positive money affirmations. We said earlier, affirmations without feeling is just wishful thinking. You have to have a feeling. What you are speaking, what you are feeling, what you are being as a person have all got to come and work congruently with each other. I deserve to have money in abundance. I am a money magnet. I like money and money loves me. Anyone can be a multi-millionaire, and that includes me, and I am worthy of having money. Just some positive money affirmations. Step 2, develop positive money habits. Face your fears head on, set up a budget, track your expenses. We always say a golden rule, pay yourself first. Whatever money you get, pay yourself 10% and put it aside into another account. Loose change, put into a jar. These are all good positive habits. Build an emergency fund, pay your bills on time, use credit in the way it's supposed to be, review your expenses, live on less than you earn. Make sure your outgoings are less than your incomings. That's positive habits. Step 3, create a new money identity. This is really key because how you identify yourself with money. Listen to how you describe yourself. Your beliefs guide your actions. How you think and what you believe guide who you are being as a person. Think about the person who you want to become with your finances. How do you act? How do you think? So here's one I did an example for me. Miser Michelle, she only buys things on sale. She thinks she can't afford it. She's tight with her money. She doesn't share. She lacks generosity. Or money magnet Michelle. She sees managing money as a form of self-care. She buys high-quality products within her budget. She's generous. She knows there's enough, and she's deserving of abundance. It's about you identifying a new money identity. Conroy Cash.
Yeah, yeah. Cash flow King Conroy.
Cash flow King Conroy. I like that.
King with a C.
Build a good network. I'm going to talk about the Iron Break community and our platform that we've got. We've got a team of people that surround yourself with the right people is key. Don't try and do this alone. We often suffer alone because talking about money is taboo. People don't want to talk about, they're fearful of saying, I want £1 million a year because they're fearful of being perceived as greedy. That's why we've built a community into our platform, mentors and coaches and people that you can talk, surround yourself with, hold you accountable and like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Talk to loved ones you trust. Tell them about your money goals. Tell us about your money goals because we will help you achieve your money goals. And the last step is gratitude for money. Does it help provide you with holidays and adventures? And it's being thankful for that opportunity and thankful for that car you drive every day to work.
Thankful for the fact that you could pay your bill that month.
Yeah. Has it helped you take care of a family member?
Mm-hmm.
Does it help you do important things? Has it helped you stay healthy? Have you paid your gym membership this month? Because it's helping you stay healthy. And it's that gratitude. When you practice gratitude, you're opening up ways for the universe to give you more. When you're ungrateful, the universe goes, no more, not deserving.
And that gratitude bit is one way of like open up your mindset to like viewing money in a positive way. That's one of the key things is like switching up the way you think about money by applying these simple little gratitudes here around money.
So a fun look, bang on 8:30. We do provide a number of things. We've got the Iron Break platform, which is everything you need to change your life in one place. It's mindset, money, network, and health. And here's what you get. You get 100+ courses, unlimited community, exclusive community access. You get bonus money psychology, the full money mindset network and health pillars. You get
4 pillars of content.
Yeah, the 4
money.
pillars. No hassle, 7-day money back. And do you know what? We're giving it for £7. This is normally £49 a month. We've discounted it in January And up until the end of Feb, for £7 a month, this is your time to get in early to the Iron Break platform and get access to all of these resources and more. So mindset, money, network, and health are our 4 key pillars. You even get a daily accountability coach that you've got access to on the platform. Even that alone is worth £7 a month. And we're also offering £70 for the whole year. So you get 12 months for the price of 10. So you can either pay for £7 a month or pay the full £70 and get your year's worth of content. But this platform has everything you need to change your life in one place.
And if Kane can just drop the link in the group chat to the Iron Great platform, that'd be great.
Coaching packages, we're offering a special deal for you guys on the webinar, 50% off. It's normally 4,800 for 6 sessions.
Is this the one-to-one session?
One-to-one bespoke packages.
And who will they get for this?
They will get me and you.
There you go.
Me and you.
Price of one.
And we will really dig deep and get those. If it's financial coaching you want, that's what we'll dig and get the weeds out and get the flowers and the fruits blooming. 12 sessions is normally 8,000. We're giving 50% off. You know, we paid £1,000 for that 30-minute phone call with one of our property coaches. £1,000 for 30-minute phone call. You're getting 6 hours of coaching with me and Conroy for £2,400. That is a bargain.
That's what you call it under promise.
Under promise, over deliver. We're giving you more in value than you're paying in cash value. And the free gift, if you want to get your phones out and scan this is download your free book. It's one of the books of the series I've written called Use Your Thoughts to Get What You Want from the Get Inspired series. Snap that QR code. We'll make sure we send it to you in a follow-up email. And then also the website. So if Kane can put that into the chat, get yourself on the platform. Right at the very beginning is the QR code you can scan should you want to get involved on the thing. Do we have any questions in the chat?
I just want to say thank you all for joining us. It's very refreshing, and just know that you've all taken this time to invest in yourself. You've dedicated 1 hour 30 tonight to changing your financial situation. That is commitment, and that was one of the key points that Michelle and I said earlier in the presentation. You know, rich people are committed to change, you know, and poor people just want to be rich. They want this, then they want that, but they're not committed. So give yourself a pat on the back for being committed and showing up for yourself tonight.
So we've got some comments saying, I feel empowered. Nat says, thank you for your time and valuable info. Thank you both, been very informative and ready to take action. So thank you all for joining tonight. And yeah, here's to making lots of money, being rich in every essence of the word. And thank you for your time tonight.
And if anyone want to take this to the next level, you can book us in for a free consultation chat on a one-on-one basis before we take anything further. So we are open. You've got a team of people here who are happy to help you. So, you know, keep the momentum going. It's the end, just coming towards the end, the start of 2026. So let's make this year the greatest year so far. You know, here's the millions in your bank account by the end of the year. So let's go and make it happen.
Absolutely. And on that note, thank you so much. New year, new money. Let's make it happen.
Bye.